While building the triangle-shaped coffee table, the biggest factor here is the quality of our horizontal cutting bandsaw. Ours can reach a miter angle of 60 degrees, and if the blade's in a good shape and the guides are set up correctly, it will cut a very nice 60-degree angle. You just have to make sure the pieces are very flat on the table and clamped well for this to turn out correctly. So it's really important that these are cut the same size. So I line this up here and line that up there. I remove this before I actually make the cut though. Make sure there's adequate coolant coming out of the machine. In this video there's a little too much coolant, but better have too much than not enough. Also the speed rate with the machine coming down should be pretty slow, very close to the speed of this video, or maybe even just a little bit slower. Here's all the pieces cut for this project, the two sizes of triangles. Now you'll see they weren't all cut quite the same length. You might have to adjust them. In this video I am trying to grind the edges, bevel the edges so the weld will fall into the mitered edge. And this is an important step because if you just weld on top of the joint and then you grind the weld, the project can fall apart. So beveling the angles is a really key part to this project success. Here's the jigs used, or fixtures, to hold the triangle pieces. Here's the pieces in the jig with the little metal shim. The little metal shim leaves a little bit of a gap so the weld can fall into the gap and the beveled angle. So now you'll see in this video kind of what this looks like. Make sure you clamp the ground on the jig itself or the fixture itself, so that way you're getting a good connection. Or you could clamp it right on your part as well, but don't rely on the connection between the ground and the table itself. That is not quite enough connection points. So what we're doing here is a tack at the bottom of the miter joint and a tack at the top, and then you fill in between the two tacks. So don't try to weld right from one end to the next, because that will expand the metal and leave a big gap. So make sure you do a couple tack welds on the top and the bottom. That will really make a big difference and help prevent some of the warpage. And then you can fill in the rest. Using a stationary grinder here to grind the smaller angle pieces at a bevel. And now this is the smaller fixture with the shim still in it. And setting this up a very similar way, a couple tack welds and a couple, I'm kind of pushing the pieces together with my glove, but I'm also using my glove to help hold the gun at the right angle and support my weld. So I'm doing a little bit of both there. If your piece fits good, you shouldn't have to really hold it either. It would fit pretty good, but I was just trying to give a little extra support. Then you take out your shims before you do the rest of your welds. I flip the pieces over after removing the shims, and I put them right back in the fixture. So both sides are welded with the part in the fixture. That just helps guarantee once again that it's going to go really well for you. So I do a lot of smaller tack welds on this project instead of trying to make a 1.5 inch straight weld across. Sometimes it's better to do a couple shorter welds. What we're working with is 14 gauge steel, which is kind of on the thinner side compared to maybe what you've been already working with. So it's better to play it on the safe side and do several little tack welds. I did burn through twice on this project, and when you burn through a little hole, with a little hole, you have to do a bunch of little tack welds to build that back up. So you do expect to have a couple spots where you might burn through, and you can repair that. So the triangle table, I've tried to walk you through the whole start phase of this thing and get you squared away. The next steps of this would be maybe cleaning some stuff up, welding these triangles here on. I think the best way to do that would be weld, so do some welds on the back side here. It's pretty hard to do welds on here and have them look good, you know, unless you went the whole way across, but then you're adding so much heat to it. I think that'd be pretty unnecessary. So yeah, I'd put the welds on the back first, and then flip the whole thing over and do a couple welds up here. Once all three triangles are on, flip the whole thing over and then do your welds here. Make sure you measure real good. You know, your measurements should be equal on each side. You could put a center point on both the top and the bottom here, if that would be easier, however you want to do it. From here on out, then you would drill a couple holes in here, make your wood top, maybe an overhang on the wood top about 1.5 inches or inch, something like that. I'd probably round these corners a little bit and then maybe weld in the corners and fill them up a little bit too. I might do that even before I weld this together. I tried, make sure you look at the different picture options. I showed a couple different ways. You could weld these on at an angle. You could get rid of the triangles, weld 3 of these on. You could do some angle iron in the middle, you know, instead of the triangle. You could do some round tubing on the corners. There's lots of ways you could customize this little coffee table, end table to fit your needs and have some fun with it. But I wanted to kick you off, get you thinking about the project, get you feeling creative about it, and show you how fast and fun it can be just to get to even this point. Then I think this will fit in the oven. So not a bad idea to make a project that would fit our powder coating oven, because the powder coating paint is just so much nicer than the spray paint. So I think I can tip this up and set it in the oven that way. And so keep that in mind when you're designing your coffee table or end table. Try to pick one that would actually fit in the oven. I think that would be really nice for you. So these holes I talked about drilling, that would be so you could put a screw up into the wooden top. You could even put a glass top on it. You'd have to have it custom made probably. But there's all kinds of ways to really make this a cool project. And my whole point of making this was to just get you inspired and show you an example of a good structural steel project out of metal, something that's useful that you could give away as a gift or keep for yourself in your house, your apartment, or your college dorm someday. And I think that'd be good. The only concern I really have with this project is the safety of these corners. I think these definitely need to be rounded off a little bit. You know, if you're going to end up having small kids around, I might consider putting something over this corner, just at least until the kid gets bigger. I think the wood top around the wood top would protect this corner pretty good, but I am a little nervous about that corner. This should support a lot of weight. I could see a fish tank being put on there or something. Lots of options on what you could do. All right, I hope you enjoy the build on the triangle table. I'll definitely finish this eventually, but I wanted to publish this video so you could see this example, and I think we're further enough along to where you can understand this.